What's going on with your Insta fam? How y'all doing this morning on this beautiful Sunday morning, almost afternoon? I just want to drop in with you and give you this piece of information that I got. Um, just had a little opportunity to sit down and think about some things, man, just over the last couple of weeks. And I got this nudge from the spirit just kind of letting me know something that we got to stop doing. And that thing is we got to stop cursing ourselves out. I know when you hear that, it sounds kind of crazy. It's like cursing yourself out. You thinking like vulgar words. In some form, these words are vulgar. When I say cursing yourself out, it means stop talking yourself out of a blessing. You know, so if you talk yourself out of a blessing, that's a curse. You know what I'm saying? So you might say things that don't register with you, as far as things you don't understand that's going on with you. You might have an opportunity to indulge in, and I ain't gonna say indulge, but strengthen your patience. Something that a lot of us going through. I know I'm going through it myself personally. So in saying that, we have a huge habit at cursing ourselves out, because we'll say something that might not line up with our understanding. And that's why we have to go back to what God says, lean not on your own understanding. So a lot of people, we go off our own wisdom. You know, if we can see something, we go with it. If we don't see it, it start creating pressure in our lives. And the pressure, it start turning into a lot of depression. And a lot of the depression turns into, man, so many other thoughts that go on in your mind. And not just, the suicidal type of thoughts, but I mean just like thoughts where you want to give up on your dreams. Give up on something that you know you've been wanting your whole life, because everything is kind of falling on you. Just really falling on your head. And you get a lot of weight on your shoulders, and you start getting, man, you just stop caring. And the reason I'm saying this, and the reason I can say it wholeheartedly, is because I've been there. And I've kind of came out of that, but I'm still like sort of in that, in between that little motion where you start thinking like, man, is God really talking to me? Is he really going to bless me? Is he really going to, get me through these things and open doors for me? But I'm going to tell you something that came in the midst of me thinking like that. And this is recently. I had the opportunity to understand and to hear from the spirit that in our hardest moments, in our darkest moments, in the things that we just can't fathom, and the things we can't understand, that's the time when God shows up. That's when he can show out. Because if it's something that leaves an opportunity for us to do it and fix it, there's really no room for us to, I ain't gonna say room, but it really don't give us the opportunity to really use God at his full potential. You know what I'm saying? We say that we have trust, we say that we have faith, but then when everything that you thought you wanted and everything you put your all into just crumble or starts to crumble, and that's the biggest thing I'm gonna say. It seems like it's crumbling. It ain't crumbling. A lot of the stuff that's going on in your life, and it's not lining up with your thinking and your understanding, it's not failing. It's not moving out of the way. It's actually preparing you. And it's preparing itself. So a blessing that's not there right now, and they say a blessing delayed is not denied. So a blessing delayed is really a blessing that's really being prepared for you. So let me put it like this. A lot of people say they want things. A lot of people want certain type of cars, certain type of houses, certain things that goes on. But okay, let's just say a car or a house. If you get a car or a house, you have different interest rates. So that one house can be cheaper for this person and more for that person. So what God does is he prepare your life so that you can handle that. And it's not going to be a burden like it might be for this person. Because see, all blessings that you can get would not be a blessing for someone else. Put it like that. Every blessing we hit is not a blessing for someone else. Same thing is if you see somebody with something, the blessing that they got is gonna be a burden for you. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gotta just do with it don't have to be just cars or houses. It could be, some of it can be money. If somebody give you a certain amount of money and you're not trained, you know what I'm saying, to handle that type of money, that's a burden. Because what you're gonna do is it's gonna be a curse. You know what I'm saying? So back to what I was talking about as far as don't curse yourself out. Don't get to a point where you start saying things that's vulgar to God's ears. Not just to human ears, but to God's ears, where you might say something that'll delay you. If God got something planned for you and he got something set in line for you, it's going to happen. But the problem is we say things out of our mouths that pushes us back. And it puts us in other places that we get more and more frustrated. We get more and more disgusted with the situation that we're in, but not understanding that if we just be quiet and read and pray and listen to God talk, a lot of that stuff will be null and void. As far as the frustration, you wouldn't have it because your mind is already thinking on, God, what is the next step? God, what do you have going on in my life? You know, a lot of things we get caught up in, and we want God to remove certain things and remove certain issues and people and all kinds of stuff and settings. But God is like, I'm going to move you in my due time, or I'm going to move it, because sometimes you might move out of a situation or a space that was meant for your blessings to meet you there. God will move the things and the issues away from you, but you got to be patient. You know what I'm saying? You got to be patient, because if I move you out of this, is what God is really speaking, is that if I move you out of this hardship and put you into this, fabulous life, are you going to appreciate it? Or are you going to complain the same way you did over here? When it got hard, you complain. But then I give you everything you want. And now it's a burden for you. It's too much for you. Now you're going to complain. So if I set you in a place and just get you to understand, and like to give your mindset an understanding of, I don't have it right now. And once you learn that I don't have it right now, it's coming. You start working out things in your mind like, okay, what would I do when I get it? What am I going to do when I get it? How am I going to act when I get it? You know what I'm saying? It ain't about getting stuff and just balling out and just doing all these crazy things. Something I learned by reading, and through reading, God told me, I don't give you certain things. I don't give you certain things for you to gloat. And that's something that made me really think, that I was like, dang, man, why God ain't giving me this? Why God ain't giving me that? And I started getting upset. You know what I'm saying? But I request a lot of things that God did open up doors for me. And he pulled me away from certain situations, as far as might be a job, might be just anything that's might be detrimental to my understanding and my faith. So when I start understanding that, and God starts showing me, like, I'm not going to bless you so that you can show the world what I gave you in the way that you're going to do it. See, that's the thing. God will show himself in your life regardless. He don't need your help. So that's our problem. We want people to see what God is doing for us. God said, no, I want people to see what you're doing for me. Because if they see what you're doing for me, then they're going to get on board, because they see that your life is going good. And they don't see you doing you. They see you doing me. That's how God look at it. You know what I'm saying? He want people to see the image of him in you. He don't want to see remnants of him all over you because of, things he gave you. Because it comes with something else. And that's, again, you start cursing yourself out. See, when God give you something, you can curse yourself out of that blessing, because you constantly thinking about what I got. Man, I'm finna ball out. Man, I'm finna stun on these mugs. No. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. He gonna give it to you, and you gonna get big headed. and you're going to start saying things, and you might downgrade other people around you that might be up next in line to get maybe more than what you got. You know what I'm saying? Or they might be right in line with you, but you don't put yourself in a position to where you start saying things in a vulgar way that God calls vulgar. Not just because you say the curse words that we hear every day. No, God don't want to hear you saying things like, man, some of the vulgar stuff you can say can be, man, God, I don't really trust God right now. Man, I don't like anything that's out of line with the spirit. You're going to be pressed. And just like we always learn one thing, man, a diamond has to be pressed to shine, right? So you got to learn. God is going to press and press and press and press you. And I'm telling you this because I've held on to this word for like a week or two. But God said, I need you to be pressed. Because you can't go and tell people, oh, well, you're going to be pressed and this and that. But you walk around here and you can't even stand the pressure yourself. He pressing the heck out of me. But at the end of it, I had to sit back and look up and say, God, I'm still with you. I'm still here. There is no way out. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing. Some people will use that as a bad thing. Like, oh, there's no way out of this, man. You stuck. Sometimes you want to be stuck with God. Well, all the time you want to be stuck with God. Because lately, as I've been going back and reading different books and seeing how these different disciples was dealing with certain situations, man, they was being pressed. But you know what they did? They still followed. They still followed the path that God had already placed for them. And the funny part about it was, at the end of all of that, when we read every story of every disciple that's in this book, we start seeing that, man, they won. They winning. They getting it. At the end of the day, it's not about I'm winning now. It's like I'm going to win. I'm going to see things the way God want to see them. I'm going to get to enjoy the life that God has for me, but it's got to be in his terms, in his ways. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be in the way that he already planned it, because we'll start getting so ahead of ourselves that we'll curse ourselves out of a blessing. We'll start saying things. We'll move different. A curse don't just come from you. Cursing don't just come from your words. A lot of it is coming from your actions. A lot of your actions will mess you up, because your movement, meaning you might want something, but then it don't happen right now, and you kind of give up. You kind of bag off a little bit. And it ain't about saying that you're going to just destroy everything and God is not going to bless you. He's not going to open doors. No, what's going to happen is you're going to delay it. It's not about God delaying it. It's you. It's us. It's me. It's everybody that call themselves a follower. You will delay the things that God had already lined up if you don't stand still. And sometimes it ain't about just standing still. Sometimes it's moving. You heard me say it's your movement. So it's still moving. You know, you might move out of turn, but then sometimes you don't move fast enough. Let's say it like that. So God might say, I need you to move now. I need you to go over here. I need you to take care of this. I need you to get in this lane now. He might have had you in this lane for so long that you done put cruise control on and you rolling. But you don't know your destination, but you got that GPS. So the GPS saying turn left, turn right, you got it on cruise control. That don't work all the time, because you can't put cruise control on when you got to make a slight turn. And that's how God moves. Sometimes he might say, I'm going to get you right up to this spot. Now turn. Because sometimes what happens is, if we know we got to turn a little while down, we'll move over in this lane and we'll chill out right here for a minute and we'll just post up. Because we know that once we get so far, it's time for us to get over, to get off. God said, nah, I want to get you right at the exit. Then I'm going to tell you to turn. So I need you to be on point at all times. I don't need you to have these crazy words going out your mouth. I don't need you to have these crazy thoughts going through your head. I need you to stay focused. And this is where a lot of people don't get it. And I have to be honest about when we have to read this word every day and lift up that cross and walk with it every day and deal with the pressures every day, deal with the things we don't want to deal with every day. A lot of that stuff is letting God know that he got our attention. And sometimes That's the biggest thing that God is waiting on to bless us. He want to know if he got our attention, because see, the thing is, he can have your attention right now when somebody say, oh, God is going to bless you. God is going to give you this. And see, that word we hear, when we hear God is going to give us something, we all in. We like this. God said, no, I don't want you to be like that all the time. So when I give you some pressure and nobody's telling you all the quote unquote good things, ain't nobody applauding you for your deeds and things you're doing, and ain't nobody jumping up and down, giving you the whole hallelujah speech. I want you to see the storm, but I still want you to pay attention. See, a lot of times, man, it starts storming. We bag up. We closing doors. We don't want to see that storm. We wait for the storm to end, so we go find us something else to do. Nah, God said, I still need you to be working. I need you to open that door while that storm is going on outside. I'm shielding you from the storm, but I need you to keep seeing it. Because if the storm stopped in a minute and 30 seconds and you're not watching it, you delayed your blessing, because God said, as soon as the storm stops, I need you to be ready to move. Because ain't no guarantee I'm not going to bring another one right behind it. The fact is, I want you to pay attention, because see, what God does is, and this spirit just hit me. God said, I can give you a storm right now that ends in that minute and 30 seconds. If you're not moving, I might have another storm coming 30 minutes later. To get you where I want you going, it might take you 25 minutes. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to spare, but I need you to pay attention. A lot of us ain't doing that. A lot of us, we just like, man, I'll wait it out. But then you doing something else and the storm has stopped and you get ready to move out and go somewhere. The storm started back up. That was your time to move. You got to move, man. Got to move. You got to be on point with everything. And that's why they say, man, God, his movement is strategic. Same way we got to be. We got to be strategic in the words that we say, in our movement and how our actions are. We got to be very strategic on how we act, because at the end of the day, God is setting us up to win, but he's setting us up to win mentally, not just physically. A lot of times we want to get the stuff, but then if you got all the stuff in the world, if God just dropped everything that you can never imagine in your lap right now, and you don't have the mindset to handle it, you lost it as quick as you got it. The mindset that you got to have is, I don't have it. You feel what I'm saying? I don't have it. You can have it, but I don't have it. Meaning, if you always think I don't have it and you constantly working towards getting it, even if you got it, you still working. If that makes sense to you, but that's how it just hit me. We just got to focus on where we're going. Right now, I honestly didn't have all this in my mind, but like I've learned so much of, I've heard people say, I need you to do this way and this way. I get it. If it's not meant for you to get it, I'm sorry. You won't get it. The way the Spirit gave it to me, I got to give it to him like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's another way. I don't want to curse myself out of a blessing. I don't want to go and remix what God put in me to make sure to accommodate another person. That's the same thing God is saying. I don't want you to remix what the life I gave you to accommodate people around you. If I told you to move this way, move that way. You're not going to be loved on every move you make. You might have all kinds of hate hit you from certain movements you make. But at the end of the day, only person matter is God. That's it. That's how Christ moved. His movement was so strategic. Sorry, but his movement was so on point that he was doing stuff that people was like, man, something wrong with that cat. His brain ain't right. Why he doing that? But then he ended up right there on the right side. You know what I'm saying? Right on the left-hand side of God. He was right there with God. And he became God. That's the ultimate reward, bro. What God is showing us, and what he's showing me and showing a lot of us that's bringing these words through, is I got everything planned out. But I just need you to move the way I need you to move. I need you to speak the way I need you to speak, because a lot of stuff that you might say, it might not seem like it's a big deal, but it'll hurt other people that ain't in the line where they need to be, but they were just needing that extra word. That's one thing I've learned about being obedient and letting this word go out, whether it be sending messages or whatever. God is really being, man, he's being very powerful in my life without me even trying. As far as me trying to make people see this and make people understand this, that's not my job. My job is to be a vessel. Let's put it like that. My job is to be a vessel. One thing I learned these last couple of weeks in studying is I was able to see how even Christ was a vessel when he came. You know what I'm saying? And him being a vessel and moving the way God wanted him to move, he created so many things on this earth that he's the true GOAT. He's the true living legend. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't understand that God is trying to make us living legends. We just got to stay focused. Today, watch the words that you're saying. Because to you, it might not sound like a curse word, but to God, it's loud. Don't curse yourself out of a blessing. Stop cursing yourself out. Because I'm telling you, it'll hurt you more in the end. Deal with the pressure now. Deal with the pain. Deal with everything that's making you out of the diamond that God has called you to be. Stay focused. Keep your mind right. As always, I don't want to overstep my boundaries by saying stuff I don't need to say. So, as always, I say, man, keep your head on the swivel. Negativity is out there. You can't go around it. You got to go through it. Stay focused, man. The people around you need to hear certain things from you. You know what I'm saying? Just the words that come out your mouth. And they don't need to hear the negative stuff because that makes people jump on board. We don't want no more followers of the negativity, man. Let's get positive. Let's get it right. As always, y'all know what I do, man. Keep your head up. Keep your mind right. Stay focused. Man, love those around you so you can get love from those around you. If they don't love you, it is what it is. Stay moving forward. Keep your head right. Keep your mind right. Keep your eyes right. You know what it is, man. 100. Strong on. Y'all be easy out there.